Last week, we were at the Dutch GP, and today, we are here at the Land of Legends, a home of heroes, and welcome to the birthplace of Formula One. This is Silverstone, and you're watching round 3 of the Cone Racing League Championship for season 13. And the last time we raced around here, I think it was season 9 or 10. I think it was Jeroen Visser who took the win after he got disqualified, I think, in the wet conditions, in the tricky conditions in qualifying. And it was Russell who took pole, but Russell finished second because Jeroen did the ocean strategy and in the end won. But Jeroen hasn't been on the top step of the podium this season yet. He was leading back in the Dutch GP as the cars exit the garages then. And tonight, the championship rolls into the spiritual home of motorsports. Silverstone is a circuit stepped into history where the echoes of the past glory still ripple through the grandstands. 18 corners, 5.8 kilometres, and relentless challenges on sweeping corners like Maggots, Beckett, and Chapel as well. This is a testament of the real, how to show the real driver's pace around here. And look at this then, it is reversed, so coming through Stowe as we exit the pit lane into the walls of the first corner, because you do miss the last three corners, I think, when you come into the pit lane on the normal format. So as we head in towards Chapel, Brooklands and Beckett and Maggots we go. This is going to be a real tricky challenge, not just for me, but for the drivers as well. So let's see if any of these drivers have done their homework and done any practice around here at Silverstone. And of course, Specify is the first one out of the garage, like he was last week back in Bahrain as well, and also at the Dutch GP. I think both Saubers did struggle at the Dutch GP as well after not having the results they needed after a good strong start in Bahrain when they qualified so high, but lost it ultimately in the Grand Prix in the race as well. But Leroy and Reservoir never give up, and they're both out there so far. Both kick Saubers, Reservoir and Leroy finished in P10 and a P11 as well, because Reservoir was 4th, wasn't he? He started 4th, he took the lead at the Grand Prix, then he spun out in towards turn 1 when he clipped the grass on the entry and therefore lost those positions, lost the lead to Bompier as well. We're about to start a lap then in towards the final corner as the DRS is not open. This is the Hamilton straight coming towards turn 1. We go flicking in towards the left-hander. Now coming towards the slow speed corners in turn 2 and turn 3. Very nicely hooked up on the apex, clipping the curb there as well, using the outside curb for support as we make our way in towards Stowe. Flicking in after the 50-meter board. Nice speed carry as well in towards 6th gear. Leads on the curb on the outside. DRS enabled on towards the hanger straight uphill as we now make our way towards Chapel. Beckett and Maggots we go swooping in as we get gradually slower in towards these segments of corners then as we exit Chapel in towards Maggots and Beckett we go, or Beckett and Maggots, I will get confused as well as we make our way now in towards the left-hander of Cops. Flicking in towards the left-hander we go. Make sure you don't run out too wide ultimately, because you will touch the grass on the outside of the corner. Now we're heading towards Woodcut, coming towards Luffield and Brooklands we go then in towards third gear, towards the left-hander, a long looping left-hander. It doesn't seem that long, does it? Especially when you take it on the normal format, but on the reverse format it takes ages to get in towards Luffield. And now they're coming towards Club, I think, in towards this right-hander, flat out of the first, but on the books immediately in towards this right-hander we go. Now coming towards the final couple of corners of this racetrack. Slow left-hander, get back in the power without losing traction, of course, coming towards turn 2 and turn 1. The final corner we go. Let's see what lap time this is. It's a 26.2, and I dare say that is a mega lap time because I heard some practice runs, and it turns out some people were setting good lap times as well in those practice sessions. So let's see if that's beatable or not, but here's the first one out there. Of course, it's the early stages qualifying. Cross Liam goes up into P2 and he finished, I think, inside the top 10 back at the Dutch GP despite struggling. Jasper is up into P3 there in his Racing Bull, who did struggle back at the Dutch GP, and he finished P9 in Bahrain. Here comes Jeroen Visser as he makes his way towards the line. He goes quickest. It's a 26.056 there, and he currently holds the best lap time of the circuit then. Winner Jeroen, last time he raced around here at the Silverstone Grand Prix, he started on the 17th place and finished in first, so it looks like a track that he seems to have good pace around. And Ronnie Stiffwood goes up into P6 in the Williams there, just behind Crossley by a few hundredths of a second. Another handed driver, but yet still struggles in the Grand Prix, is Seaworld Gamer, as Leroy goes up into P3, as we see Isak Kush up into 4th ahead of his Red Bull teammate. Harry Palmer goes into 5th. Here comes Steve as he makes his way now towards the line. He goes P4, with a 26.449 for the race to ball driver, just behind the kick salvers. The speed crowd is still in the pit lane as Farrell goes up into P12, as Bobpia goes up into P5 in the Aston Martin. The Bobpia still searching for a victory after the first two races. Bahrain finished in P2, the Dutch GP finished in P2, as AJ Wuhan goes up into P7. So once again, it's a great display of driving from both kick salvers there, who continue to show impressive form and impressive strength. Can they keep it up though? Because they do tend to go down during the races. Nathan JB now joins the 26ers with a 26.587 then. This track is difficult as Leroy has left the session then, quite surprisingly. Nathan there takes a little bit of a shortcut as well to get himself back in the pit lane. Where's the pit lane entry? Yeah, it is towards turn 1 there, as Dari goes up into P8 in the Ferrari there ahead of AJ Wuhan. So there is your first representative lap times then, as Pease and Harrison are still yet to make their way towards the line to set a competitive lap time. Here comes Harrison towards the line. He goes up into 15th place ahead of Jasper, and Pease is about to make his way towards, where is he? There he is, right there in the Mercedes. And let's see then what Pease could do as he makes his way in towards the pit lane. Downhill pit lane for him. I completely forgot that the pit lane entry is right there too. So there is your first competitive lap times. There's Bob Pierre getting ahead of the Aston Martin there, of Farrell as well. So those two are teammates. One is in 6th and the other one is in 17th place there. Championship leader is of course Speed Crown. He's won 2 for 2 so far, but he's currently down in 18th place along with his friend Pease in 19th place there as well. The first runs are completed then. I don't think anybody out there is on a flying lap, as the first runs have been done and dusted. As here is Bosch Evans in the Ferrari, but I think he's already done 2 lap times there on the soft compound tyres. So 8 minutes of this qualifying session is gone, and we're waiting for the next couple of runs then. So quite interesting there. You revisit almost in the 25 as Bosch Evans once again is going round for another flying lap. So it's just to me, he's fueled the car up for multiple runs, and I think Leroy has joined the session. So Bosch Evans there going for another flyer. Remember, he had a puncher back at the Bahrain Grand Prix, and I don't think he raced at the Dutch GP. Yes, he did. He finished in P6. Sorry, I thought he missed the Dutch GP because of certain issues, but he's here. And once again, let's see what Bosch Evans could do in the Ferrari. He's another very strong driver on his day. When he does put the practice in, we know what he can do. He scored multiple podiums around in this league, and the Canadian Grand Prix as well. And he won the Mexican Grand Prix, I think, a season ago. So he's definitely capable of good results, is Bosch Evans. But whether he could be bothered to put the practice in and put the effort in, as Bosch Evans there takes the grass on the outside as well. It's a common thing as well. Carry too much speed or run a bit too wide out there, you will find yourself the grass on the outside as well. So let's see then how his lap progresses in towards, massive oversteer there out of Brooklands, as the DRS is not enabled, by the way. As we head down in towards the loop we go. This first part is flat out, then immediately slowed down in towards the second part here. These slow speed corners is very important, like it is on the normal layout, to try and break traction and get a very good exit as well. Very smooth on the power, very patient, and now we're coming towards the final corner, in towards turn 1. That sounds weird to say, didn't it? I said it coming towards the final corner, in towards turn 1. Didn't make sense, but oh well, it is reversed, it is confusing. Harrison in the McLaren is currently a couple of tenths up on his personal best. He's 6 tenths up, so he looks like another contender who is going to be in the 26ers then. So let's see if he can progress there. The car a bit reluctant as well. Had a bit of a mid-slide there as well, as he gets back on the power once again, using the ERS he has left in the battery. He makes his way towards the final corner. Let's see where the McLaren driver could go up into P9, and he flirts with the track limits there on the outside. Giroud Vizza is up in the first sector by 0.05 of a second. That's half a tenth, but unfortunately he's gone off the track and he has invalidated on his lap time. That will not count, and I think a trip to the pits for him will be viable and necessary as well. Unfortunately, they're pushing the absolute limits of this racetrack, like you would normally do around here at Silverstone, just finding the absolute limit around here as you want to try and nail every single apex, nail every single breaking point as well, carrying the speed all the way through, trying to brake a little bit later, try and carry as much speed as you can. Both kick Saubers are currently on a lap time as he makes his way now towards the left-hander of Luffield. You don't realise it, do you, when you come through left field because it's such a long left-hander, but it doesn't seem like it on the normal layouts. The Sauber is currently on the flying lap. The Aston Martin, they're just weaving. Could be Bobpia or Farrell, but Farrell is on a flying lap. As Recify then hits the apex very nicely indeed, taking a lot of curve as we head now towards this left-hander on the power once again. Very smooth, nice traction there from the kick Sauber as he makes his way now in towards the final corner. Let's see what Recify could do. Recify goes up into P2 or stays in P2 with improvement with a 26.1. His Irish teammate of Leroy is on a flying up as well. A winner here is CRL, and he's taken a couple of podiums as well. He missed a few seasons, did Leroy, after a hiatus and an absence and a break as well, as he locks up heavily going in towards this right hand. There we go. And now coming towards turn number 3. Clips the apex very nicely, gets back enough traction once again. Let's see what Leroy could do. Both kick Saubers are looking very good so far as he makes his way now towards that final corner. Let's see what lap time it is. It's an improvement, but he stays where he is. It's P3 as HsitirB goes towards pole. It's a 26.038 and marginally quicker than Jeroen Visser in P2. Great lap time there from the Singapore driver as HsitirB goes up into P4. He splits both of them, and Sweet Crown goes towards the top of the timing sheets with a 26.029. There is your championship leader, and he's 9 thousandths clear of HsitirB in P2. Great performance once again from the champion, the 3-time champion of CRL, doing a fantastic job. See, look at him. And who's that behind us? Is that Bobpia behind us? It's not, because he's in an Aston Martin, so it could be. Is it Speedcon? I think it is Speedcon because he just finished lap time. But here he is. HsitirB, however, unfortunately 4 seconds down. But I think HsitirB just done a lap time, didn't he? So that's why he's not on a push right now. But we got some competitive lap times coming in so far, and this is going to be a mega qualifier session. We've got Duval in P17 here. He's 1/10 up. He's also a 2-time champion of CRL. I believe he's won around the track as well against Ferg as well in the past, as Duval is currently 5/10 up in this middle sector. He's currently in the 27 club along with AJ Palmer, Cross Liam, Bosch Evans, himself, Farrell and Jasper down in P19 as well. Jasper way off the pace, but hopefully for his sake he can get himself amongst the midfield and put a challenge on. Here comes Duval now towards this final corner we go. Let's see what the 2-time champ could do. The 2-time champion goes up into P9. I remember Duval back at the Imola Grand Prix last season, and Dari up into P4 as well in the Ferrari too. So great performance from him, and he's exactly 300 slower. Look at that. The times are so close. Fractions of a second. Margins as well between those top 4. Millimeters between those top 4. For first down to fourth, it's about 700ths of a second, if I want to correct myself on that one. 500ths of a second then, so my maths is way off. But there are your lap times. There is 4 minutes left to go around here. It is super qualifying at sunny Silverstone, and it's such an intense qualifier too. Barely anything separates the top 4. And Nathan JB, wow, what a lap time! Puts it right to the back there, puts the cats amongst the pigeons on his second lap on the soft compound tyres, goes quickest with a 25.922. And I wished I would have watched that lap time, because that was a spectacular one indeed. From first down to 8th, separated by 0.3 of a second. Super close between these fine drivers, high top tier caliber drivers as well, really showing their capabilities and what they could do. Harrison stood on a P13 there. He's done 5 laps on those soft compound tyres, so expecting a miracle once he puts on a new set of the soft compound tyres. So watch out for him. He could be a threat as well during this qualifier session. So majority of drivers are back in the pit lane then, ready to put on their last set of the soft compound tyres then. And we should see, as both McLarens there double stack in the pit lane, we should see if anybody can try and get inside the 25 so far. I'm expecting more from Bobpia as well. Bobpia, a bit disappointed on the P10 there in the Aston Martin. Finished P2 twice, Bahrain and also at the Dutch GP when he got beaten by Speedcon. The strategy didn't go his way, but Speedcon found a way to beat him at the end of the Grand Prix after Speedcon pitted onto a new set of medium compound tyres where Bobpia was on the hards, and safety cars kept appearing as well, which did give Bobby the chance to try and get Sweet Car, because Sweet Car was able to save the tyres under the safety car. Remember, 3 safety cars in the dry period after lap 18 as well, 3 of them after huge contact, carnage as well, and chaos erupted at the Dutch GP, with a few drivers lost their heads and caused those neutralizations in the race. Heck was Ronnie Stiffwood now. This is known, I believe, in the Williams as he makes his way towards Copse Corner, where of course famous things happened, where Romain Grosjean and Carlos Sainz made contact. Nope, that's not the one. Which one is it? Oh yes, Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton made contact in 2021. A very famous moment indeed in motorsport, but gladly Verstappen walked away and Lewis Hamilton won the British GP to win his 8th or 7th, no, it's an 8th win, isn't it? Because he won in 2021, didn't win in 22 or 3. He won in 2024 to get his 9th win, I think. Yeah, he won his 8th in 2021. Unfortunately, no, not the title for his sake. But Ronnie Stiffwood is in the pit lane then to put off, or I don't think he's got enough time. No, he hasn't. So unfortunately for Ronnie Stiffwood, he hasn't got the time as Harry Palmer goes up into P14. So not a great lap time there for Harry Palmer at 26.9 for him in the Alpine. Almost a full second off and a little bit there too. Nathan's brother AJ Wuhan. We see the both brothers who are quite close contention as well, as we got the front runner teams. The front runners are out of the pit lane. Bob Pierre looked like he's made a mistake already. He's used a bit of battery. He was on his hour lap, so he made a mistake very early doors on his qualifying lap there and slowed right down to cool the tyres down and push once again. Look at Reservoir, already a 10th up in the first sector, finding time. I don't even know where the first sector is, but here he is coming towards now Stowe Corner. He hits the apex very nicely, runs out wide on the exit, utilising every single part of the racetrack as he climbs uphill towards Chapel, Beckett and Maggots we go. He's a 10.5 up, maybe more than that, as he flicks the car in, uses a lot of curb on the entry for both corners. Look at that, really attacking these curves as you want to out here in Silverstone, as he makes his way now in towards Copse. This left-hander, is it flat out? Just a slight lift off there, but makes it stick. I think it is flat out during normal circumstances, as he makes his way now in towards Luffields. This long left-hander we go. Just be very patient. Don't overdo it on the throttle. Just ease the throttle as we now make our way in towards the right-hander of Brooklyn as we go. Stamp on the power once again then. There's a car ahead of us. Reservoir is 3/10 up on his personal best. And look at that. Flying through the corner. Now, will he overdo it? Because you can see he's up, maybe wanting more, maybe want to try and build a margin over the rest of the field. Sometimes the pressure can be overwhelming, and sometimes you can make a mistake on your best lap as well. But nice and tidy as he makes his way now towards the final corner. Is this pole for Reservoir? And it is! It's pole! It's a 25.719, and that is pole. But Speed Crown is down in the first sector. Isa Kush is coming towards Luffield right now. Where's Yavoon? He's making his way now. 4/10 up. Look at this. It's an absolute flyer for Yavoon Visser in this middle sector. Can he keep it up now? Now he enters this right-hander, the slow speed corners. Oh, look at that. Goes deeper towards the corner. He compromises extra in towards the left-hander we go. Flicks the car in. I wonder how much time has the Haasman lost in that particular part of the racetrack. The slow speed corners, the tyres are hot. Here comes Giroud towards the line he goes. This was pole. Yes, it is. It's pole. By 0.05 of a second behind us is the Racing Bull, and Speedcar pops his Williams into P3 ahead of Nathan JB. Isa Kush goes up into P5. Harrison gets himself into P9. Both McLarens inside the top 10. Dory, where is he? Down, unfortunately. 6th place for him only. Bompia, a miserable qualifying for the man in 2nd place in the championship there. He will start in P12, but what a qualifying session. Yavoon Visser is on pole position. Hopefully it won't be the reverse, because last time he was here at Silverstone, it was 17th to 1st, and I really hope it isn't 1st to 17th, so I really hope that curse isn't upon him. Although he did actually speed in the pit lane, didn't he, by 10 seconds. We got a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and unfortunately it cost him dearly too. He was leading with Seaver Gamer. They both sped in the pit lane, and it ended their race. Sieb, I think, finished inside the top 10, but Yavoon unfortunately finished outside of it and retired from the race too. It was a commanding drive, dominant from both of them, but of course every little thing the little mistakes makes a big difference as well, and that was a huge costly mistake there from Jeroen. You may have the pace on the track, but you've got to have your wits about you every single moment on the racetrack as well, and those little defining moments can have a big consequence on the race. But congratulations towards Jeroen as he takes pole for the Silverstone Grand Prix in reversed. It is a Dutch-Brit, which rounds off the top four. Jeroen, Rez, Sweetkran and Nathan JB. Nathan, great form from him in the Alpine as well, needed it as well. It's had a quiet start to the season as Nathan JB didn't appear at the Dutch GP, but he's back in Silverstone, and let's hope he can put on a great performance. We've got a few outliers there in the midfield, and I dare say C, but Bompier is one of them too. But let's see what happens around this 26-lap race around here in Silverstone. Will it be a wet condition? Will it be a wet race? We're about to find out anytime soon as we enter the main stage, the main spotlight here in qualifying. The first, AJ's left the session, so I really hope he gets back in very quickly. Okay, so it's a restart for the race. Several drivers have been glitched out. So we take the results from qualifying. We go into a brand new session. Look at that. It looks gloomy out there, overcast. So is the rain going to appear? Who knows? But of course, rain can make a big impact as well around here in Silverstone. 2022, when Carlos Sainz took his first pole for Ferrari and also took his first win as well for the Ferrari team as we exit the session. But let's not forget to mention Nico Hülkenberg took a fantastic podium for HsitirB, his first podium of his career since 2009 in GP2 when he won his first championship for that team. Joined Williams in 2010, took pole in Brazil after mixed conditions, dropped back to 8th. He finished in 8th place after, of course, the Williams wasn't competitive back then, so you can forgive him. And plus, it was his rookie season. Missed 2011 after Pastor Maldonado took his seat. 2012, he returned to Force India, and at the Brazilian Grand Prix, it was mixed conditions in Brazil, and he took the lead of the Grand Prix by pure pace. No luck, just pure skill, pure racecraft. But unfortunately, at the top of Ferradura, Hülkenberg spun, which allowed Hamilton back through. Then Hülkenberg had the pace to come back at Hamilton, but unfortunately, his error cost him dearly. He still finished 5th despite a 5-second penalty for colliding with Hamilton. Plus, it was Hamilton's last race for McLaren too, so that ended in tears. It was either going to be Hamilton who won or Hülkenberg who won, but it was Jenson Button who won for McLaren because he won in Australia, won in Belgium, and won at the Brazilian Grand Prix as Paul Di Resta, Hülkenberg's teammate, crashed at the final corner, hence why there was a safety car that came out towards him in the Grand Prix, and it ended with a safety car, and Sebastian Vettel took his 3rd World Championship ahead of Fernando Alonso. But we're going to talk about Hülkenberg, of course. Then, of course, Hülkenberg moved to Sauber in 2013, where he is right now, and he moved there. The first half of the season wasn't that great, but for the second half, finishing P4 multiple times and qualifying 3rd at the Monza Grand Prix. Hülkenberg finished in 4th in career and took a top 5 finish in Monza as well. Spectacular season for Hülkenberg. A great resurgence, especially after a struggling team. Sauber's last podium was Kamui Kobayashi in 2012. And in 2014, he moved back to Force India. Teammates were Sergio Perez, but Perez was the one who took the podium. Took it multiple times, didn't he? Especially back in Bahrain. And I think Perez did beat Hülkenberg as well in the first year, and I think Perez beat Hülkenberg in the second year, and Perez beat Hülkenberg in the 3rd year as well for F1. And also during their years together as Force India teammates from 2014 to 2016, Perez was always the one to score podiums as well. Because Perez moved from McLaren to Force India, didn't he? And actually, it turned out to be a good decision. Well, Force India McLarens, I dare say, were level pegging on pace. Force India may have been a little bit better, but I'm not quite sure actually if McLaren beat Force India in the championship that year as well. But Hülkenberg was close to podium as well after, I think it was the 2017 Singapore Grand Prix, when he was winning in 3rd place, but he had an engine problem because obviously the Renault engine wasn't that great back then and had to retire from the race as well. But 2019 German Grand Prix, wow, Hulkenberg was super close to the podium, running in P2, P3 most of the time, but turn 16 at the Hockenheim ring caught out many people, including Hulkenberg, and I dare say that was the moment where it truly broke him as well. Waiting for a podium, could have got it at his home Grand Prix, but unfortunately ended in disaster and tears after crashing there as well. And also Sebastian Vettel from P20 to P2, I believe it was as well. So that brought a smile on some Germans' faces, including mine, even though I'm not German. But I do support Sebastian Vettel, one of my favourite drivers of all time, hence why I was a bit happy that day. Because the year before truly broke our hearts, well, Sebastian Vettel's hearts. It broke my hearts especially because obviously I was very young back then, supported Sebastian Vettel, wanted him to go for the championship, and obviously when he crashed in Germany, damn, that was a very sad moment indeed. And I didn't watch the rest of the race after that. I knew Hamilton won ahead of Bottas and Raikkonen as well in P3. But then Hulkenberg took a sabbatical after missing 2020, but he was a reserve driver at this track. I think it was the 70th anniversary Grand Prix, was it? And he qualified in P3 ahead of everybody except the two Mercedes. Hulkenberg qualified P3. And also he returned back in the Eiffel Grand Prix after qualifying last because he had late notice, and finished in P8 in a racing point as well. That showed you Hulkenberg's true strength. I don't think he raced in 2021, but he came back in 22 in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia. But of course, the Aston Martin wasn't particularly a great car back then, but he still had qualified Stroll as well. Then, of course, returned back to 2023 and was in the Haas. Great results for Haas as well, despite the car being absolutely terrible. Scored points multiple times as well back in Australia as well back in 2023. And 2024 scored points 10 times in 2024 as well, taking back-to-back P6s in Austria and at the Silverstone Grand Prix too. And after that, he came to the Kick-Sauber team, where he was back in 2013, and we know what happened then. Kick-Sauber had a terrible start to the season in 2024 and 5 and 2023. Then, after that, they had a resurgence of points in Canada, Spain, Austria as well, and Silverstone, and where was it? I said Canada as well. And then they scored a podium here to the British GP. A great podium for Sauber, a great podium for Hulkenberg, and 239 races waiting as well. I think Adrian Sutil now holds the record of most races without a podium, the other German driver, and that's a record he does not want. But of course, he can't do anything about it because he won't return to F1. The last time Adrian Sutil drove in F1 was back in 2014 or 15. 2015 was Nasser and Ericsson. 2014 was Sutil and Gutierrez. So yeah, 2014 was the last time Sutil raced. But Sutil's been a ghost since then because nobody's heard from him since 2014. Yeah, Sutil's had multiple top 5 finishes, I remember. But unfortunately for him, back in the Force India as well, and Spiker couldn't really score a podium back in those teams. And Sauber too, back in 2014 when he returned then. I think Sutil was a great driver, but unfortunately, just like Hulkenberg, couldn't score a podium in the midfield team. It's always nice though to see midfield teams score podiums. The only team on the grid hasn't scored a podium now is the Haas F1 team. It's still for the P4 multiple times as well, from Hulkenberg, from Magnussen, from Grosjean. Was there ever close to a podium? I don't think so. Australia, they were P4 and P5 after Ricciardo spun around. Or Verstappen spun around, sorry. Ricciardo had a terrible qualifying. But after that, I don't think they had a real chance of scoring a podium. Not on pure pace anyway, they needed luck or skill. Austria was their best result. P4, P5, 2018 from Grosjean and Magnussen, sorry. That was their best result. Going on an F1 history tour here. First driver to win the British GP, or first British driver to win the British GP, was Sir Sterling Moss. And of course, I think Fangio finished in second place. It was Mercedes 1, 2, 4 as well, 1, 2, 3 and 4 as well back in 1955. Just to keep you guys entertained as well when this race gets started. I remember 2018 as well, the 2018 British GP, when I think it was Lewis Hamilton on pole or Sebastian Vettel on pole. But Vettel took the win after Hamilton got spun by Kimi Raikkonen in turn 3. Then Bottas was in the lead of the Grand Prix, but Vettel made a stunning move down the inside. But Hamilton still finished in P2 despite dropping down the order, and Raikkonen still finished in P3 despite a 10 or 5 second penalty for the collision with Hamilton. But of course, back in 2008, let's not forget the incredible drive from Lewis Hamilton, finishing over a minute over, was it Nick Heidfeld and Rubens Barrichello as well, especially for Honda, BAL Honda, who had a terrible season. The only highlight for them was the British GP by finishing P3, and they both had a terrible pit stop. Both Barrichello and both Button were stuck in the pits for such a long time. I remember that as well. And Felipe Massa kept spinning around. Massa spun around so many times as well during that race. And Heikki Kovalainen was the one to take pole. His first pole position in Formula 1 and his only pole. His first win came at the Hungarian Grand Prix when Massa had an engine failure. Hamilton had a tyre blowout as well. So Heikki Kovalainen was there to pick up the pieces to win that Grand Prix. Kovalainen with 1 win and I think 4 podiums to his name. His last podium, I think, was at the 2008 Monza Grand Prix when Sebastian Vettel won that year too. From 2014, of course, from 2021, Hamilton won 17 out of 8 races, and now he's got 9 wins around a circuit like Silverstone at your home Grand Prix, which is something special. Not to forget to mention his podium streak. Wasn't 16 podiums in a row, but the man ended his podium streak was the man who picked up his first podium in his career, Nico Hulkenberg. So yeah, imagine losing that stat by a guy who picked up his first ever podium in 16 years. Taken a long time, of course, but these things do take a long time, of course, because of lobby restarts, etc. Just try to sort the grid out, sort the qualifying, sort the weather out as well. But of course, the birth of F1, 1950, was the first time. Did I see a bit of rain there? Somebody's messing with the weather settings. Is that Bompier? Yeah, Bompier is the host, our Dutchman, who's been around F1's, been around CRL for such a long time now. Since season 4 in the Alfa Romeo, young Het Bompier. But Bompier was another driver too. It took a long time for Bompier to get his first win in CRL, and it took it a few seasons ago as well, I think it's season 11. But yeah, it's been a long time. I was waiting for Bompier to get his first win. It got denied at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix when Jeroen took it away from him, when they both finished ghosted inside of each other. Didn't want to make that weird. But yes, they both finished 0.00 seconds, but I think Jeroen took the win on that day. Bompier's proven his worth. He's a PSGL F3 now, and he's got a lot of credibility to his name as well. I do miss commentating with the Dutchman, but hopefully he does return back as well. A lot of loyalists as well since season 1. Duval's been here since season 1. Nathan JB, AJ Wuhan has been here as well since season 1, and Pease has been around here for such a long time. Season 2, 3, I believe it is. Leroy's been around here for such a long time too. Got a lot of familiar faces as well. Isa Kush has been around for such a long time. A 2-time winner, I think, around here in CRL is Isa Kush. I think Pharrell as well, he's also been around here for such a long time, been a long time member of CRL as well. Of course, been in multiple divisions, but at least he's back in CRL Tier 1, where everybody else wants to be. Harry Palmer has been around a long time too. I was around in Season 2 at the Hungarian Grand Prix. I wasn't around since Season 1 because I was in a different league, which was a competitor of this league. It was RRC versus CRL back then, and I was on RRC side, but now I switched over to Cone. Finally, we get the session underway and we get the race going, and it's going to be a 26 laps of racing. I hope you're ready for the British GP because I certainly am as well. And before it gets underway, we've only had 2 races, but let's reiterate the championship standing. So Sweet Crown leads the Drivers' Championship with an excellent, stunning victory, 2 wins in a row. Can he make it 3 for 3 here? Can he make it a hat-trick around here in Silverstone? Bob Pierre P2 with 48 points, 32 points behind Sweet Crown. CP3 30 points behind him as well. And Isa Kush 4th place with a stunning podium back at the Bahrain Grand Prix. Harry Palmer 5th place, same points with Isa Kush with 21 points. Pease in 6th place with a fantastic podium back at the Dutch GP. And Leroy's in P7. Expect a lot from Leroy this season, but of course, a bit of a blunder back at the Bahrain Grand Prix with that 2-stop strategy. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. But my TV is about to turn off at the wrong moment. And plus, my battery is low as well on the remote. So let me get that sorted out for you guys. Oh dear. It's about to turn off. And my battery's quite low as well for the remote. If it turns off, that means the stream ends. There we go. Got it sorted. Mark is supposed to be here, but unfortunately he hasn't returned yet. So how long are we going to wait for Mark's return, I wonder? There is a formation lap, just had to make sure there wasn't because I know a lot of leagues don't run it, but this league does. So here we go for the formation lap around here at the British GP, and we can look at the tyres then. The formation lap, look at that, Jeroen took a lot of curve going down in towards turn 2, so doesn't want to be doing that again. Especially through the whole race because the curves can be lethal as well, can flick you airborne and send you off the track as well, so be very careful how you use the curves around here. So the tyre compound as you wish. It is a mixture of hards and a mixture of the medium compound tyres. I think it should be a one-stop strategy around here in Silverstone, so I don't think tyre wear are too much of a major concern. Going to be an interesting one because Sweet Crown's surrounded by a medium as well. Isa Kush is also on the hard compound tyres too, with Pease, Ronnie Stiffwood, Pharrell and across Liam down there in P17. Sweet Crown does like to run the ultra strategy. We saw it back in the Dutch GP. We saw it back at the Bahrain Grand Prix too. He starts on a different tyre in comparison to everybody else, and it does make it work, the Sweet Crown. So he's got a magical touch with the hard compound tyres, and he's very good at managing his hard spot in the trains. He doesn't drop backwards because some people on the harder tyres, they do drop backwards because they're able to get the temperature inside them too, and they lose abundance amount of places as well. So if Sweet Crown can manage that track position in P3 and solidify that result, he should be on course for a good race. And if he can stick to the train like he did at the Bahrain Grand Prix, he could be the one to watch. He's always the one to watch, is Sweet Crown. But let's see then if his strategy works, what have others got in the tank as well. Pease is also a good driver in the race trim. He does struggle in qualifying, but in the races he does come back through the field. Sweet Crown is eager and desperate to get on with it. "19 drivers then line up on the grid, ready for this 26-lap race. Jasper is the last one to fill up the grid, and we can get racing underway at the British GP finally to kickstart this 3rd race of the season. What's going to happen down in towards turn 1? It leads immediately in towards a tight turn 2, in towards the left-hander. Let's see what happens then for this 26-lap race around here in Silverstone. The lights about to go off on the gantry. And we are underway for the British GP in reverse for the first time. Roy at the back gets a good start. Here comes Jeroen. He covers off Reservoir as we head down in towards 1. Now towards 2. Here comes Sweet Crown down the inside. But the Alpine goes so deep. Now he has the inside line going in towards turn. Here we go. A bit of a tap between those two as the midfield there fighting over track position, jostling over position as well, as now Dory gets ahead of Steve. He gets himself up into P7 there, and now Isak Kush stays in P5. Pete is right behind, 3 abreast in the background. Who is that? Steve, Dory and the Sabra too, all going 3 abreast, but they all sort themselves out before the corner. But there he is, there's the Ferrari trying to stick down the inside. Steve goes off the track, he keeps on it but goes very wide there, and now Leroy is up into P8. A bit optimistic there from ILT Leroy, or ILTC behind, and he's dropped a few places too. In the background, Harrison's gone off the track. Nathan JB and the RB goes off the track. Aston and McLaren too. Here comes the Alpine down the inside in towards Luffield. Can he make it stick? It's a long looping left-hander, and Sweet Crown does back out of it. Maybe he doesn't want to fight the medium cup hard time runners early in this stage of the Grand Prix, so he lets it through. And Nathan JB now up into 3rd place. And look at the hard runners, P4, 5 and 6 as well. Sweet Crown's only lost 1 place, which isn't bad, as Bob Pierre now has got ahead of Steve. Around the outside, in towards the loop he goes, in towards turn 3, bit of a contact there between those two. So the end of lap 1, Jasper is still in last place there. Was he the RB? It was Steve up the field. He went off the track there, but kept on the road without spinning off into the gravel. But it is lap 2 out of 26. DRS is enabled as they make their way on towards the Hamilton straight. Who's the Haas? Going side by side. It is AJ versus Duval as we go down in towards turn 2 and turn 3. These guys have had plenty of scraps back in the past, and now they're together as ILT Jasper gets a 10-second time penalty for speed in the pit lane. His race has gone bad to worse, unfortunately, for the Dutchman there in last place. Best result of the season was at the Bahrain Grand Prix, P9, but unfortunately, we can't seem to catch a break, can the Dutchman. Here we go then as they all sweep through Chapel, Maggots and Beckett we go. Now coming towards the Cops corner, in towards the flat out left-hander, but we do lift off during the race because obviously these guys are on much heavier fuel and tyres. That'll be very old during the Grand Prix as well. Let's get the data up. So there we are then, the top 3 on the midi compound tyres. Just behind us, the Sweet Crown, Isak Kush and Pease on the hard compound tyres. I think Isak Kush and Pease made a few places there as well, while Sweet Crown lost 1 place. Isak Kush made up 1 place, or should I say none, and Pease, he made up 2 places. So great start there from Isak Kush, from Pease. I don't know why, like I said in the last race, I get those 2 mixed up. Oh, it's Isak Kush. Change his name to Isak Kush because that is confusing. YK, F17, MTK. But now we're heading to lap 3 out of 26 then. Just the management phase in this Grand Prix. We won't see anything spectacular in this race. It's all about managing. All these guys will follow each other. But Bob Pierre has been up 4 places from P13 to P9. Steve has lost 3 because he went wide in towards Chapel and therefore gave the places towards Dory, Leroy and Bob Pierre too. D-Will's been at 1 place. Harry Palmer has been at 3. Bosch Evans has been at 4. Ronnie Stiffwood has lost 1, and Crossley has gained 1 as well. Harrison from P10 to P17, so great qualifying, but unfortunately fell backwards during the course of the Grand Prix. Still, it is Jeroen versus Reservoir and Nathan for the top 3 on the midi compound tyres. Sweet Crown and Isak Kush are still able to keep up on the hard compound tyres. That's a lovely camera shot too, look at that. The car swooping through in reverse, going towards Cops, on towards this short straight, the old pit straight, as it changed back, I think, in 2010, as we're now headed towards the first corner. So in towards Luffield, then Brooklands we go. It is a bit confusing in reverse, but we move on and manage. Sweet Crown is doing a very good job there in P4 to hold on, but only just though, to get himself in the DRS range. There is no DRS on the straight. These medium tyres will have the advantage in the slow speed corner. So once again, Jeroen takes a very different line, like he did in qualifying. Was that intentional or not? Sweet Crown lost a second, then he gained 3 tenths immediately. So he lost 4 tenths per second and gained it back. So maybe Nathan made a mistake there, or Sweet Crown gained a lot of time by braking later and get himself back in the DRS range. It is so important not to put the DRS. And so far, P1 down to P14 are in a big DRS train, but it's so easy to make a mistake around here as well at Silverstone. It's very easy to go out wide, touch the grass on the inside as well, and clatter the curbs. Here's Nathan JB in 3rd place, looking for a podium for the first time in Silverstone, and he's right to the back of Reservoir. Reservoir's lost a second. Jasper spun in Luffield as we make our way now towards Chapel. Maggots and Beckett we go, or Beckett and Maggots, sorry. As we climb up the hill now, Reservoir lost 1 second there, so did he make a mistake out of snow, which gave Nathan a chance to get closer and closer. Nathan used his battery, but Reservoir used it as well to keep ahead of Nathan. Should Reservoir let Nathan go to have the DRS on the back of Jeroen? Jeroen now has got over a second gap over Reservoir and Nathan. That's all he needed. That's the moment where Jeroen can pull away, break away from the DRS, and try and build that. Oh, Jeroen spun! Jeroen Visser has spun out of Brooklands, and he falls all the way down the order. So just breaking from DRS there, unfortunately, has dropped it at the exit of Brooklands. A very costly mistake as he rejoins down into P10. Does the Dutchman just had a duel and AJ Wuhan. It was a great race from Jeroen Visser there. We were talking about him breaking the DRS and pulling away. And now Nathan JB looks in a very good spot against Reservoir to take the lead of the Grand Prix. But the hard runners are doing a mega job to keep up. Their pace has been absolutely mighty, and it's very important as well for those hard runners to keep in contact with this train in the early stages of the Grand Prix, because they will switch over to the mini compound tyres and also have the better grip towards the end to catch them as well, and also have the deficit to catch the guys on the hard compound tyres when they switch over. Oh, what a look there. Jeroen Visser, did he just overstep it, get the throttle way too early and lit the tyres up and go for a spin? Not the mistakes we're used to seeing Jeroen making, but mistakes can happen. He's still in that DRS train. AJ behind his teammates can't get himself in that DRS train, but luckily I think Jeroen has calmed down and he's got going once again. It's very easy to lose your composure, especially after spinning at the lead of the Grand Prix. You get so flustered, so angry as well. And Jeroen has actually dropped out of the DRS range. Maybe his tyres are quite hot. Duel is ahead of AJ. There's the second pack as well. Duel is now side by side, but has the inside line going towards Brooklands. But will AJ do a switchback and try and get back at him, going down in towards the loop as well. Here we go, down in towards turn 5, but Duel has the advantage and stays ahead. There's a massive lock-up there for Jeroen. He's desperate. He takes that wide angle. I'm not quite sure if it's intentional or he keeps locking up there and missing his breaking point. But it hasn't done any favours there. That's Seaboard Gamer and Jeroen Visser, both of them together like they were back at the Dutch GP, but 9th and 10th. They were 1 and 2. And look who's gone wide. That is Bompia, who has made a mistake out of the final 3 corners, or shall I say the first 3 corners, and he's lost the DRS towards Leroy as well. So that crucial DRS there. Bompia has lost it, and now Sieb is right at the back of the Aston Martin. Sieb has no choice but to overtake him, and he does. No, he doesn't. He slots in behind Bompia and stays behind him as well for the time being. We're seeing these two in a great battle every time we see them come towards CRL. They're always together on the circuit, these two. But they're separated in towards different divisions in PSGL, but they're quite close together on the track every time in CRL as well. Quite weird how it works. Now, some of these guys are in PSGL, but separated into different divisions. But when it comes to different leagues, they're in the same division. Look at Jeroen. Oh, optimistic there. Thought for 1 second he might have a chance on the inside ahead of Sieb, but Sieb holds his ground for the time being. No DRS on the straight, remember, because it leads in towards a fast right-hander like it does in Japan. You don't want to do a Jack Dillon and crash in towards the fast right-hander. Oh, Jeroen goes off the track there, and he might go in the wall. He saves the car. Oh, almost in the barriers there is Jeroen. He goes from bad to worse there for the Dutchman. He rejoins on the circuit, I hope, safely, and he does. What's rotten look there for Jeroen, unfortunately, around here in Silverstone. 19 laps left to go at the British GP. Poor Jeroen, he has left the session and retired too, and he becomes the first one to retire in this session. Jasper, however, is in last place, a long way behind, and still continuing there. As look at Nathan JB putting so much pressure on Reservoir in front of him, but messes up his lines, messed up the sequence of corners going towards Chapel, Brooklands and Luffield too. Very important to get those corners right too, especially on the normal format when you want to get those corners right and have a chance at DRS and overtake down the straight. What's better, the reverse format or the normal format? In my opinion, the normal one. Here comes Nathan up the inside in towards Luffield, and Nathan just squeezes ahead, but Reservoir, can he stick him on the outside to have the inside line? He loses traction in towards Brooklands. He goes now. and Sweet Crown is looking to pounce on Reservoirs 2. I think the hardcore power tyres at this stage of the Grand Prix could be a little bit better than the mediums as well. Reservoir maybe start to struggle as well. I wonder if Jeroen took out the 100 meter board, so have some people lost their reference points? I hope not. Breaking boards are people's reference points as well. People running no line, and I wonder if the 100 meter board or 50 has been taken out, and some people might have lost their preferential vision as well going towards the corner. But there's Jasper in front of us. Unfortunate back marker, but fair play. He's still there. There's Jasper running his own lonely race. He wishes he had Mick with him to accompany him in the Grand Prix. Look at this then, a big train right behind Nathan JB and a train of Harvarders too from Sweet Crown down to P's, P3 to P5 as well. Yellow flags and Jasper's retired. He has retired. Is that a safety car? A safety car has been deployed. That's completely changed the trajectory of this race. That has absolutely ruined Sweet Crown's race. Sweet Crown P's and HsitirB too, because they want the safety car to come out later to have the better run on the medium powered tyres. This has worked in the hands of the medium runners as well, so that's really helped those people on the medium powered tyres. So safety car has came out now on lap 8 out of 26. Where's Jasper retired? That was in Chapel, Maggots and Beckett somewhere. So he must have lost it where Perez lost it. Well, obviously not, but in a different format or a different way. Sweet Crown, HsitirB and P.S. will not be happy. Cross Liam, Roddy Stiffwood and Farrell would not be happy that Jasper has caused that safety car. Jasper is in the voice chat. Don't know what he's saying, but I presume he's spoken in Dutch. So that's the two Dutchmen out of the Grand Prix, Jasper and Jeroen. He's left the session as well. So Nathan JB is in the pit lane, and that is a very weird way to enter the pit lane. Remember when Romain Grosjean crashed in 2018 in practice, just lit the rears up and spun the car and took out his front wing. So who is going to be caught out by this? Obviously the Harvarders, but what about teammates as well? Because teammates have to double stack. Who's that going through? That is Cross Liam. Cross Liam takes the lead at the Grand Prix, and he finished inside the top 10 at the Dutch GP2, so great for him. Comes back after a long absence away, as Roddy Stiffwood is in P2 in the Williams there as well. So those two are taking a track position P's on the soft compound tyres. So a very short stint there on the softs, and I presume after that stint he'll go on the medium compound tyres, because those softs can't definitely go towards the end. So I wonder, what's this race going to be like for those medium runners? Are they going to have to manage? Obviously they're going to have to manage, but how much? And are they going to have to do a two-stop? How bad is the tyre management around here for those two? We definitely know Peace is pitted again, Farrell's pitted again, but for Sweet Crown and HsitirB's sake, they need another safety car. But safety cars are unlikely around in Silverstone because you've got so many runoff areas. It's not really a chance of a safety car coming out. But yes, the safety car has came out to interrupt this race, then a neutralisation towards this race. And once now the safety car has come out, I will take a short break and I'll be back with you for the race. Wow, back in the pit lane then comes Sweet Crown, and who's that behind him? That is HsitirB. So one lap on the medium compound tyres, because they're going to go back to the hard compound tyres. So I presume they've chosen 2 sets of the hard compound tyres. Let's see then, into the pit lane they come, and it's a new set of the hard compound tyres, but obviously Sweet Crown's towards the end of the pit lane. I thought Sweet Crown was serving a drive-through penalty then, but of course the Williams are end of the pit lane, and the Williams get to work. And unfortunately for those guys at the back of the field, that's a real shame. But I'm wondering how this race is going to work for them now, because they're going to be joined all the way at the back. Their pace has been blistering. Out of the pit lane they come on a new set of hard compound tyres. What's it going to be like for them? Do they have the pace, but can they overtake the rest of the guys ahead of them? They've got a massive, mighty challenger, a mountain to climb once this race restarts as well. You never know if chaos can erupt around this Grand Prix, because you've got Ronnie Stiffwood and P2 Nolan. So Nolan being Speed Crown's teammate, and I know those two are quite close, so we could see a bit of teamwork, gamesmanship from those two. It's going to be an interesting phase now towards the Grand Prix, because effectively everyone except Ronnie Stiffwood and Cross Liam are on the hardcore pod tyres. Obviously those two are the hardcore pod tyres, but older, the ones they started on as well. So those two are yet to make a pit stop, but every single driver on the same tyres, and it's going to be a race all the way to the end. So no more pit stops except for the top two, because they've got to do their one mandatory pit stop. But those two, I presume, are having fun, and hopefully as well a safety car comes out for their sake. Otherwise they're going to be dropping all the way back to the field. Remember, the pit lane loss around here is significant. It's huge around here as well. So safety car is in at the end of this lap. We get racing once again in Silverstone, and it's going to be a breathtaking race around here. It's going to have to be a mighty recovery drive for Sweet Crown, because his championship rival is Bompia in P7. Bompia currently is ahead, but in different circumstances as well, because Sweet Crown had no choice. Isak Kush had no choice either to better pit. And P2 down to P16 and Pharrell in P17 too. They did not want to do a two-stop because they know the pit lane loss is significant and huge around here as well. And we go racing once again. It is Crosslip who takes us away for the safety car restart. Nathan immediately pounces on Ronnie Stiffwood as we head up towards turn one. We go. Ronnie Stiffwood and side by side these two go. Nathan just barely on the track there, but around the outside he goes up into P2. That's very critical now to get past the Williams there. And in the background we can see Reservoir trying to make a move too. Around the outside, no way in towards Stowe. He doesn't have to run, but maybe the switchback, maybe the under and over. Yes, he does. Better exit. I use the battery as well, side by side with the Williams driver now, as the Ferrari behind us warms up his tyres. Reservoir going all the way around. The outside has the inside line in towards Luffield we go. Oh, Leroy there as well. Pierre and Leroy going side by side. So tight between those two. Magnus and Beckett, and Nathan JB is about to take the lead of the Grand Prix. He does. Let's see the lead of the Grand Prix being changed, and he takes it. He goes up into first place. Bompia is ahead of Leroy, and McLaren goes off the track too. Reservoir, however, up the inside. Across Liam, he goes up into P2. I think I've ruined my voice. Yep, I've ruined my voice. Unfortunately, I can have a sore lump at the back of my throat. Not to quote Murray Walker. Just excuse me for a few seconds. Should be back to normal. Here comes Bompia once again on the attack against Leroy, but unsuccessful for the time being. I think I've poured a muscle on my throat there, unfortunately. But Darius right behind, so Ronnie Stiffwood, the two of hard runners there. That's what happens when you're a lone commentator and you get too excited and strain your voice. That's what I've done. I've strained my voice, unfortunately. So I need to drink a bit of water to try and prepare myself. You can hear me just struggling there to talk, but look at that, the Ferrari bounces over the curve there. So sorry and apologies about the commentary on the safety car restart. I was expecting something spectacular, but I tried my absolute best to try and speak despite having a sore throat. But now Bompia is right behind Leroy once again, so take three between these two. DRS for both drivers here as we make our contact ahead, and they're both going in the wall. In the wall goes Ronnie Stiffwood. He's out of the race, and a safety car is deployed once again. And who was that Ferrari? Was it Dari? I think Dari could have been involved in that contact there. That's very unusual and strange. But they both met, both tag wheels, and off they went in towards the barriers they went. I'm so glad the safety cars came out again. But I don't think anybody is going to pit on limited compound tyres. And what I meant a safety car is I'm going to get some water because I've truly got a sore throat. So let me be right back. Right, I should be better now. Had a glass of water, so I put too much strain on my voice and my vocal cords were going. But into the pit lane because Cross Liam, unsurprisingly, he's the only one in the field not to pit, as we've got more people in the lane as well. These guys at the back have nothing to lose, so might as well gamble on a set of new medium compound tyres. So my voice should be okay. That's what happens as well when you're a lone commentator and you don't drink. Remember to drink as well, especially it's very hot around here in the UK, in Silverstone as well, very hot conditions. What's AJ Wuhan doing? He's lost a few places there, and he's trying to gain them back. So AJ was in 6th, but he's dropped down to 7th place, or 8th place, let's say, but gained 7th back after the expensive Bosch Evans. Look at that, Peas and Sweet Crown back together. What's happened to Isa Kush? Isa Kush is on the soft compound tyres again. Now I wonder, will he pit, then put on a set of mini compound tyres, because that's what he's doing. He doesn't want to take too much life out of these mini compound tyres, so I think he's doing one lap on these softs. What a horrible camera angle for the Red Bull steering wheel. For those who don't know, I drive the Haas as well. My main team is Haas in the league. So this is what my steering wheel looks like. So there it is, but in the Red Bull you cannot see the steering wheel, so I'm going to have to fix that if I do ever have the Red Bull in the game. So let's see then if Isa Kush's tyre strategy will work. He will go on the mini compound tyres, do or might too, because those softs definitely can't go towards the end of the Grand Prix, and Dari down to P15 on a new set of hard compound tyres. Running here, Sweet Crown was supposed to stay on the mediums, and I was going to hold everybody up for him. That's what I said. That's what I said, mate. I literally just said that before the safety car came in. The first safety car, shall I say. That's why I stayed out. He pit again and ruined the plan. Yeah, I was literally predicting that. I thought you were going to do a strategy like that, because I know you two are very good, well, good friends, I dare say, and very good at communicating with each other with strategy too. So I thought that was the plan. If Sweet Crown does win this Grand Prix, then I don't know what to say. He is a 3-time champion for a reason. Sweet Crown, the Dutchman, has over 30 wins in his CRL career. I don't know exactly, because the results haven't been updated properly in season 12 and season 11 as well, because they were all mixed up and a few results were lost in the process. Both Saubers are on the podium too. Peter and P3, both of them there. Bompier's in P4, Sieb's in P5. So Bompier, Sieb, Leroy and Palmer, AJ, they all had a difficult race, and now they find themselves all in completely different positions in the Grand Prix. This has really spiced things up and really changed the order around as well in this Grand Prix. There's 13 laps left to go in this race. Nathan JB currently leads the Grand Prix. He hasn't won a race since last season, I believe it is. Nathan JB's had a few wins in his time in CRL. If Nathan JB wins this race, then he'd be absolutely delighted, because it's been a long time, well, quite a while since Nathan JB has won. No, Sweet Crown took the victory back at the Dutch GP the first and second time in Bahrain too. I see Leroy's last win was in Las Vegas. Nathan was second and Bobby was third. So Leroy's last win was in Las Vegas. So let's see what he could do from P3. Very quick, a very good competitor. He finished P3 as well. He finished P3 at the Miami Grand Prix too. Bob Pierre's last win was at the Australian Grand Prix in P4. Yeroon's last win was at the Spanish Grand Prix, but he's out of the Grand Prix as well, so unfortunately for him. Nathan JB's last win was back at the Qatar Grand Prix. Qatar last season was Nathan JB's last win, and remember, it was a Ferrari 1-2 because they had a dismal race. It was a double header, Bahrain and Qatar together for one round, and both Ferraris blew it by making contact with each other and break their wings. But at the Qatar Grand Prix, they both took the victory, a dominant 1-2. Let's see if Nathan JB can win around here at the Silverstone Grand Prix. But there is 12 laps left to go of action and racing around here in Silverstone. Both kick-sabers have a chance. Bobby has a chance as Nathan JB slows right down. And let's see when he will pull the trigger. Here we go, out of the final few corners we go, in towards turn 2 and turn 1. He gets racing once again as the driver swooped through to complete lap 14, lap 15, 11 laps left to go in the Grand Prix, and it's Nathan who leads him away as he swoops through down in towards turn 1. No chance of overtaking through these particular part of the corners unless you get caught napping somewhere in the track. But Duval is still on the soft compound tyres and he's just dropped backwards too into P16. Sweet Crown is immediately ahead of Bosch Evans then. He puts himself into P8. What's happened to my screen? There it is. So my thing wasn't working because somebody drew out the session. But Sweet Crown is up into P8, so apologies about that missed overtake there. My screen was glitched after someone drew out the session. That's what happens when somebody joins because you can't flick through the drivers as I usually do. Sweet Crown is up into P8. Next target is AJ Wuhan and Harry Palmer. 2 Alpines inside the top 6 there, so it's looking good for Alpine so far. For Enstone, in the background, the Aston Martin is under pressure from Harrison. The yellow flag's still out there, but of course, misleading information. You can see who's got oh, look at that. Harrison has got a 3-second tyre penalty. You can see the track limits there. You can really tell who's got the grass on the outside of Cops as well. Somebody has gone for a little bit of an excursion. I remember when these drivers first tested out the reverse track, a lot of people went off the track in Cops as well because they tried to take it flat out, but just misjudged it. I think you have to lift off slightly in towards Cops, but not in normal formats as these drivers lock up. Look at Nathan trying to build a gap. The gap keeps fluctuating and hovering around 9/10 of a second. You can really see Nathan is trying to bridge that gap, trying to put the DRS, trying to take control of the Grand Prix. But look at Leroy in the background too, 9/10 away from his teammate. Both kick drivers can work together and try and attack Nathan JB. Because if Leroy has the DRS off the back of Reservoir, he's able to keep Bompia and see that play. But Leroy, a little mistake there for Leroy in towards Club. And I wonder, has that cost him a little bit of time? He's still in DRS range. I think DRS is enabled on this lap, is it? No, it's not. Yes, it is. DRS is enabled in this lap, so Leroy is able to stay in contention. Maybe have to use a little bit of battery to edge forwards towards Reservoir. And Sweet Khan has overtaken AJ. He puts himself up into P7. Sweet Khan is on a drive so far, a recovery drive after the first safety car not going his way. But Leroy has lost the DRS towards Reservoir as well. Reservoir is sticking with Nathan JB as well after these two. First and second after Yeroon spun early in the race. It was down to these two to control this race. Bompia, however, is on the back of Leroy too, with C following behind. Harry Palmer in the clutches, with Sweet Crown right behind the 3-time champion. It is putting the pressure on as both Red Bulls have swapped places. Isak Kush is up into P12 ahead of Crossliam as well. The strategy's worked for Crossliam because he's only done one stop, because remember, he didn't pit during the first safety car, but the second one he was able to, so that safety car has worked well for him despite being down in P13. And Isak Kush overtakes Farrell in the Aston Martin as behind us Crossliam goes a bit deep in towards turn 5, I think it is, or turn 4, in towards the loop. However, look at Nathan JB, he is absolutely flying as well. And Sweet Crown has set the quickest lap time of the race, and Isak Kush takes it away. He's 1.2 seconds behind. He is on the medium compound tyre, the better mediums towards the end of the Grand Prix. So he'll be absolutely quick towards the end of the Grand Prix too. I can't wait to see who wins. It could be Sweet Crown, Reservoir, Leroy, Bompia, Nathan JB, any of them. But Sweet Crown, who's dipped a wheel on the gravel there? That was the Aston Martin of Bompia too, who went off the track slightly. There he is in the Aston Martin there, catching Leroy. Hoping for another podium, hoping to make it 3 podiums in a row, but goes deep in towards Maggis and Beckett and cost himself a bit of time because Sieb is right to the back of his tail as well. The gap is 0.2 of a second there between Sieb and Bompia. I think DRS is enabled on this straight as well, so Sieb might have a chance, but he goes off the track in towards Cops. So that dims his chances to get closer towards Bompia and overtakes him, brings Harry Palmer back into contention. Harry Palmer has the Williams right behind too, looking to put the pressure on. Look at that, right to the Alpine's gearbox as well. Sweet Crown is looking to pounce at any given moment against the Alpine. The Alpine gets twitchy out of Brooklands. No DRS on the straight because the next corner is flat out in towards the loop we go. As ILT Bompia momentarily lost the DRS there, Sweet Crown seems to have a lot more traction as well, a lot more grip. You can see the rotation of that car working really well as well against the Alpine of Harry Palmer. Reservoir is just sticking on the back of Nathan JB. Harry Palmer's lost the DRS towards Seaboard Gamer. He's harvesting energy. Look at Sweet Crown as well. You can see how much grip he takes on the inside, on the edge towards corners. Able to have that grip and the balance as well. Able to push the cars through the corner As now we see Harry Palmer could be vulnerable because Sweet Crown has the DRS. Harry Palmer has no DRS on the back of the guy ahead of him, which is CRL Game in the top 5 of DRS. But here comes Sweet Crown. Harry Palmer's vulnerable as Sweet Crown goes through. He takes away 6th place. And now, next target is Seeb Royal Gamer up into P5. Remember Seeb? It was his 3rd race in his 1st season in CRL. 3 races in and he won the British GP, did Seeb. But I don't think a repeat is happening. He's stuck in P5. Look at that, the time is closing down. We're almost towards the end of the British GP. It's been a spectacular. Bosch Evans gets a 3-second time penalty as well after exceeding track limits. Pease is still in P10 behind Bosch Evans. He's got Isa Kush on his tail on the mini-cup pod tyres too. Now, Sweet Crown's up into P6. The gap between him and his 2 Dutch compatriots is 1.1 seconds. Bob Pierre under pressure from the man behind, who looks very rapid indeed. Looks very confident as well going towards the corners. The car sticking well. The car is working really well underneath the Dutchman of Sweet Crown as well. Able to go through the corners, take the apexes at speed as well, not lose it. The gap is 9 tenths or 1.1 seconds behind Seeb, who's putting pressure on Bob Pierre as well. I think Reservoir has found a comfortable margin now against Nathan JB. Nathan JB tried to pull away, but not able to. And look at that, he really cuts the curve as well, as Harrison gets a 10-second time penalty for speed in the pit lane. And unfortunately, both McLarens in P15 and P16, their day hasn't gone well at all at the back of the field. And Pease is now putting pressure on Bosch Evans in front of us. Bosch Evans there, just holding on to the back of AJ Wuhan. AJ Wuhan has driven a decent race too, all things considered. So is Bosch Evans from P18 up into P9, but he's got Pease right behind, looking to take advantage of him as well as we swoop through Maggots and Beck as we go. But Reservoir is super close on the back of Nathan JB. He's got the DRS on this occasion, but I don't think he's close enough to strike in towards Rothfield. Remember Nathan JB overtook Reservoir a couple of laps ago, and he put himself up into a 1st place, did Nathan. Reservoir has got his teammate right behind him. I wonder if both Saubers are working together. They will love a double Sauber podium. What's going on in the background there? I'm not quite sure, but Sweet Crown's dropped away. The gap is 2 seconds. So Sweet Crown has got the pace as Leroy. IRT Leroy has lost the car. He must have went off and picked up a penalty. And now he's dropped into P5. What a costly mistake there for Leroy as Harrison goes off the track through Magnus and Beckett, but Leroy has dropped himself into P5. Bob Pierre now takes away P3, but Reservoir's right behind Nathan JB as we swoop through the double left-hander through turn 1 and turn 2. Look at the speed as well, carrying the speed through turn 1 and turn 2 there. Nathan JB is under massive pressure, but Bob Pierre is back on the podium. Could he get a podium for the 3rd time in a row to kickstart his season? Bring the gap down towards Sweet Crown as well in the championship. All the points matter as well in this short season in Cone. Remember, I think there's only 12 races this season in Cone as well, so every single point matters, every single finishing position matters as well. Oh, what a shame for Leroy. It could have been a double Salah podium as well, but unfortunately, only his teammate might get the podium in P2. As long as Reservoir keeps it nice and clean. Remember, Reservoir, when he was in the lead of the Grand Prix at the Dutch GP, he spun in towards turn 1 after overtaking Bob Pierre. He's ahead of Bob Pierre once again, but I really hope he doesn't spin going down in towards the heavy braking zone or touch the grass. May learn his lessons there. Sweet Crown not able to get the DRS just yet. There is 6 laps left to go of action here. Nathan JB has been controlling this, but Reservoir has been biding his time as well. He knows at this point in the Grand Prix, 2nd place is the best place to be. To have the DRS at the back of Nathan JB, keep Bob Pierre, keep Sid behind, keep Leroy behind as well. I'm pretty sure Reservoir will love Leroy right behind him as well, because Leroy and Reservoir, I think they do work well together. We've seen it before with both Saubers orchestrated strategy back in Bahrain, but unfortunately it didn't quite go their way. It looks like Harry Palmer is still able to keep up with Sweet Crown. So Sweet Crown's relentless pace, unfortunately, has not been shown in this part of the Grand Prix. But of course, it's very difficult to stick in the DRS train. When you're in the DRS train, when you lose it, it's just so difficult to catch up because you've got 2-3 DRS zones around here, and Sweet Crown doesn't have the advantage of DRS, so he's not able to get closer. He keeps losing time on the straights to Sweet Crown, but the gap is 1.1 as Leroy is dropping away from DRS as well. There is 5 laps left to go in this Grand Prix. Nathan JB is looking for his first win since, I think, the Qatar Grand Prix last season. It's going to be a mighty end, a mighty thriller towards the end of this British GP. Can he get closer than this? It's a Brit 1-2 with the Dutch P3 and P4 and the Irishman in P5. Will it be a Brit that comes out top? Will it be a Dutchman that comes out top here at the British GP? Who knows? But we're about to find out in the closing stage of the Grand Prix. What can Bob Pierce do? It's very difficult for them to get themselves inside. Well, it's very difficult for them to close in because they're stuck in that DRS train, especially with the dirty air. Only Reservoir could do something about it in P2. He has control in this Grand Prix. He has the say to do whatever he wants in P2 because he has the DRS on the back of Nathan, but he's just biding his time, waiting for the final stage of the Grand Prix. What he doesn't want to do is overtake Nathan now. That gave Nathan the DRS and the advantage to overtake him later on the Grand Prix. So Reservoir is playing it smartly as Leroy has left the session once again. Oh, his internet has let him down as Nathan goes a bit deep in towards turn 3 there. So Sweet Crown will fly past the Sauber and he goes up into P5. Harry Palmer goes up into P6. What a shame for Leroy. When will that guy catch a break, man? Such good pace ever since his return back in the F1 game, because I think he took a sabbatical, in the last game. Barely saw him anywhere, but he's back in season 13. Been around CRL for such a long time. He picked up multiple podiums as well. Picked up a win back in Las Vegas, I dare say, without checking the results. But the most important thing is the top 5. Harry Palmer now. AJ Wuhan goes off the track there in Cops as Harrison sets the fast for the Grand Prix. Pease gets ahead of AJ Wuhan. He puts himself up into P7. That's the Red Bull thinking about it going down the inside there on the medium compound tyres. It's a shame because Isaac Kush, I thought for 1 second, will capitalise on these mediums, but he's been stuck down there, hasn't he, ever since the second restart of the Grand Prix. Leroy's dropped down like a stone, obviously, because he's left the session. Harry Palmer, so that's the back of Sweet Crown. There they are, the battle of P5 and P6 commences between these two. The 3-time champion versus the former Tier 2 driver of Harry Palmer. This is something new for Harry Palmer to be in Tier 1 and challenging the top guys as well. Bob Pierce dropping backwards as well, so this could be a battle for the podium spot if Bob Pierce cannot get himself in DRS range. I don't think Steve World Gamer has picked himself up a podium yet this season because he's dropped out of contention both times. Back in Bahrain, back at the Dutch GP at his home Grand Prix after picking up a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane too. So Sieb is still looking for his first podium of the season. Bob Pierce wants to continue his streak. Reservoir is also looking for redemption after spinning at the Dutch GP. Nathan JB finished in 5th place in Bahrain. Didn't appear at the Dutch GP. Now he's leading, has a big chance of winning, but unfortunately for him, he may have track position, but the DRS belongs to Reservoir, and Reservoir have the advantage towards the end. But Nathan can counter this, knowing that Reservoir will stay behind him in the last few laps of the Grand Prix. You think that Reservoir will strike at lap 26, wouldn't he? So if Nathan JB could save the battery, try and repent his attack, and counter it by saving all the battery he can and using it all on the final laps of the Grand Prix, he needs to be very smart, knowing when to use the ERS. Both drivers do, indeed, because there's 2 DRS zones out of Stowe towards Chapel and out of Cops towards Luffield. No DRS on the Hamilton Straight, even though they did use it in 2018. Remember when Marcus Ericsson spun off there in 2018 in towards turn 1. It was a double Sauber DNF because Charles Leclerc pitted too, and he also had to retire because they didn't attach the car properly, tied to the car. You can see now Sweet Crown has been attached, so that first safety car has really ruined it, but great recovery drives there for Sweet Crown. Harry Palmer's still in the back of him, and Sweet Crown has got a bit of a train himself behind him as well. He's got Harry Palmer, he's got Pease, he's got Isaac Kush, and AJ Wuhan right behind too. Both Ferraris are fighting for P10, Dari and Bosch Evans. Could this be the moment? Here comes Siebes down the inside against Bobbia, but Bobbia hangs it on the outside as he stays in P3. Those two are side by side. These two are close friends as Pease and Harry Palmer swap places. Pease now puts himself up into P6. He goes, and Sweet Crown has left this field. He's pulled away as Harry Palmer pulls out. But I want to keep an eye on Siebes. These two go side by side in towards Cops. Can he make a stick? Let's see. Oh, it's bang wheels there between those two, but back on board with these two to see what happens going down in towards Luffield. Reservoir is close behind Nathan JB as Harry Palmer gets back out of Pease to go side by side in towards Luffield, but Harry Palmer goes super deep and Pease goes through, but not yet because Harry Palmer's the inside line as they make contact once again in towards Brooklands they go, but Pease has the outside line, but Harry Palmer gets a better exit with the benefits of the ERS to go side by side as we head down in towards turn 5 we go. It's side by side, super close, flat out corner as we head in towards the right hander. These two are scrapping away very hard in this race as HsitirB loses traction and P stays ahead for the time being then. Great battles between those two. Rubbing his race in this day, they definitely rubbed wheels, but they kept it unscathed, didn't go in a spin. I really would love to watch this battle, but we're on lap 25 out of 26, the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix. Once again, HsitirB looks on the inside but backs out. And he's got two feisty drivers right behind him. Look at that, he went airborne for a few seconds on the curb. This is getting very intense now towards the latter stage of the Grand Prix. Time is running out indeed. There is only 2 laps left to go in this race. It's HsitirB, your leader, but will that remain the same on the last lap indeed? HsitirB will think about saving his battery knowing that Reservoir will go for it on the last lap as well. Sometimes going for the last lap doesn't always work. I've seen it before, especially in league racing, because the driver ahead acknowledges that the driver behind, C4 game there, cuts the grass on the outside in cops. That's his podium chances ruined there for him. But first place, that's, sorry about that, trying to think what I'm going to say now. AJ Wuhan is ahead of Isa Kush, and Danny is how he goes in towards Lovefield there. Late lunge from the Red Bull, makes contact with the Haas there, as Bob Pierce lost the DRS almost, as these two continue to scrap it out for P8. And Dory's not behind. Dory got past Bosch Evans on the previous lap. And AJ Wuhan might fancy a lunge. But down the inside he goes, in towards turn 5. He makes his stick. Does he? Yes, he does. Gets ahead of him. Nice move there from AJ Wuhan. The final stages are among us here in Silverstone. It is the battle for the lead between the top two. HsitirB versus Reservoir. Let's see the battery. Look at Nathan's battery there, 73%. So he's definitely got the high ground against Reservoir. Reservoir maybe used too much battery there instead of conserving. So HsitirB maybe in the end be in a better spot. Reservoir left it to the last lap of the Grand Prix and maybe he left it too late. He has the DRS, has the battery, but maybe uses this DRS zone to save a battery. Bob Pierce dropped like a stone against Reservoir as well. So maybe Steve could have the podium. Steve will have another dose of DRS after Cops as well towards Brookfield. So can C4 Gamer get Bob Pierce? But Reservoir is ever so close as we now head in towards the left-hander of Cops we go. DRS is enabled, but Reservoir does not have the battery. HsitirB does, so essentially equalises it out as Reservoir gets closer and closer, but he can't make a move going down towards Brookfield. C4 Gamer is well behind Bob Pierce, but same, he can't make a move either. He stays behind it for the time being. No DRS, remember, on this straight, so HsitirB should be safe. What a fantastic display of driving from HsitirB. Finished P5 at the Dutch GP. Did not start in the Dutch GP, Bahrain Grand Prix. And here he is then, the final lap of the Grand Prix. He has sustained the pressure really well. Every single lap as well of the British GP. Managed to claw back the pressure from Reservoir. Sees right behind Bobby as well. Watch out for those two. But here comes HsitirB as he crossed the line. Nathan wins the British GP. What a fantastic drive there from the Brit. He held off Reservoir every single lap as well after safety car and controlled the race beautifully. Did HsitirB. Another win to his collection, his first win since the Qatar Grand Prix, and a win he'll certainly be proud of too. Reservoir in the end finishes in P2, Bob Pierce P3, and Seeb will finish in P4. Pease and Sweet Crown 5th and 6th despite the first safety car not going their way. It really ruined their strategy and the race too. Harry Palmer finishes in P7 ahead of AJ Wuhan. Driver P9 and Isa Kush dropped to P10, so I wonder if he struggled on the mini compound tyres. He hasn't got a pudger, but I wonder if the tyre wear just gave up. A brilliant drive from HsitirB. Fantastic, very impressed for him. It's been a long time, last season since the Qatar Grand Prix, he last won, and he wins again. P5 in the first race of Bahrain, DNS in the Dutch GP, and he wins his home Grand Prix as well. Must be something spectacular for him as well. So congratulations there to the top three. He has done a mega job, and Bob Pierce too. He's been quite under the radar for Bob Pierce as well. Bob Pierce from P30 to P3. It's been a quiet race for Bob Pierce as well. we're just waiting for the Dutchman of Bompier to join this party and we can kickstart the podium interviews. Hopefully the Dutchman does join. He did join last week and the week before. Sorry about it, but we're just waiting for Bompier to join the podium interviews and hopefully we can kickstart it. It was quite a suspicious crash from Jasper as well, down in towards, I think it was Chapel, Brooklands or Luffield. Can't quite tell when it was. In fact, we'll start with Reservoir, not to keep you guys waiting. So, the Reservoir, mate, welcome back to the podium. It's been quite a long time since you made your way to the podium, mate, as well. And CC13, you had a tricky start at Bahrain and also at the Dutch GP. You had a chance to win it here at Silverstone, but Nathan just managed to defend. How do you feel overall? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling a bit disappointed with the way things gone, or is it your best drive today?
Mate, I'm so happy. I finally finished the race in the points. That's all I wanted. So to be on the podium, I'm gassed. But Nathan cheated the whole way. He kept on hitting me off the track. You know, I should have won that, to be fair.
Did he? What members did he hit off the track?
I'm joking. He never hit me. He was just so good.
You and your teammate have such good pace this season, both of you in the Kickstarter as well. Great qualifying and also in the race. But both of you do have your moments as well, make slight mistakes, which have big consequences in the Grand Prix too. So if you minimise those mistakes, could you and your teammate be really up there as well, fighting for the Grand Prix and fighting for the wins? Because still quite a long way to go. It is a short season, only 10 rounds this season, but you still both can make something of it, and other drivers can make mistakes. So now with this pace, with this confidence booster, what are you expecting now for the rest of the season between you two? Are you going to work together, try and help each other?
I mean, we always work together. Like, even today, it was just unlucky from him. He hit the curb and got a penalty, and then he game kicked him, so he left the session. He would have scored high, but like in Bahrain, we chose a complete wrong strategy, and we both don't really like Netherlands. So this was a good step up, and we're both quick, so we can both do keep fighting for these podiums and high points. So we'll try better for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I know you're both quick as well. You proved it, but unfortunately, like you said, just chose the wrong strategy back in Bahrain. That two-stop didn't go your way, and also both not liking the Dutch GP. Still a good pace there, but that slight mistake towards turn one really cost you dearly. But today, I think you maximised everything as well, and Nathan JB just saved enough battery as well towards the last stage of the Grand Prix. I bet your main plan was to stay in second place the whole time, keep Bompier at bay and rest him at bay, then attack Nathan on the last lap of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, it was, but as you can tell, I had a lot less ERS than him, but I had to use that to keep up with him. Like, the dirty air, I can't blame it all on dirty air, because he was just very consistent and quick, but some corners you go out and you're almost a second behind, so I had to use it, try and save, and he could just sit there with a lot more ERS, so he deserves to win fully. You know, he was unbelievable.
Your first podium in a long time. I don't know when your last podium was, sorry, it's been a long time, but are you happy to be back at Kona as well? Are you happy now racing back? Because I'm not quite sure where you were on F124, but F125, you haven't got slower since the last few games of 23 and 22, so you definitely still got amazing pace as well. How are you expecting Monza to go, which is the next race of the season next Thursday?
I really like Monza. It's always been one of my favourite tracks, but yeah, it's all a situation. I got lucky today with the safety car, and I got to pit on hards and go to the end. Same with a couple of us, which caused Wouter and all them lot to go a bit further back, which gave us a position. But that's all F1 game is. Half the time it's luck, so.
Is it indeed? And I hope you kickstart your season here in Silverstone as well and have a great last few 7 races as well. So good luck, Reservoir, and once again, nice to chat to you again.
Cheers, mate.
Moving on to third place, which is Bobbia. So 3 for 3, but unfortunately not the wins. It's the podium. 3 podiums in a row, Bobbia. And, well, it was a good measured race from you. And the guys behind made mistakes. And unfortunately had strategy blunders with that safety car coming out too. It was a silent, stealthy race from you as well. And you had a lot of pressure from your fellow ILT man, Steve, behind you as well, who won the British GP all those seasons ago. But, yeah, talk us through your race, mate, because you watched other people make mistakes around you. And other people had to pit as well. And you kept up with the top two as well, despite almost losing DRS towards first and second there, but still kept Steve at bay after almost overtaking him towards Chapel.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a bit funny. I was mainly focused on other things during the race. Yeah, quali was just shit. I think I learned the braking points around an hour before we started, so it was just in the race, every lap, like trying to figure out what the best way was around the circuit. So yeah. I didn't expect the podium at all, so happy with it.
Yeah, you were very patient and very strategic as well in terms of your overtakes as well. For P30 to P3 as well, that's a great result. So you must be happy with the result because obviously you said you had 1 hour to practice for the braking points around here in Silverstone as well. So surely you must be happy with P3. I don't think there's nothing more you could have done because you were stuck in that DRS chain behind Reservoir and Nathan.
Yeah, exactly. P3 is good. I had a good overtake on Seep, so that's always nice.
Yeah, you did indeed, and also Seep almost got you back as well. Was there any chance in the race were you hoping that Nathan and Reservoir will fight more as well? Because maybe you could have a chance of sneaking through. You thinking that Nathan and Reservoir would have fought more?
I wasn't thinking it, I was just hoping it. I knew that they weren't going to do anything stupid, but yeah, of course you always have that hope in the back of your head.
And it must be so frustrating as well for your side because you're stuck in P3 majority of the time as well. How frustrating is it, even on this game as well? It's the same every single game. You're stuck in the DRS train and there's nothing you can do about it. So all you're just doing is sitting and praying, really, aren't you?
Not this time, because I was just shit and they were bad.
Well, thank you there, Bompia, for the language. But how do you feel for the Monza Grand Prix?
We'll see. I don't know. I haven't driven the track this game, so. But at least I know the braking points there, so. Good.
What are the braking points, if you don't mind?
You want me to run you through the whole track, or?
I'm alright, thank you. We'll be here all night. But yeah, congratulations on P3, mate. 2 P2s at your home Grand Prix and the Bahrain Grand Prix too, and here in Silverstone. So hopefully you make it a P1, mate.
Yeah, I hope so too.
It's a good start to the season, though. Sorry, we're going to say something?
No.
It's a good start to the season, though, Thomas, because you run up consistency could really help you in the championship as well, elevate you up towards the championship with other people making mistakes and also with their strategy blunders and wrong timing. So this is boost your confidence as well in the upcoming races because these consistent results can really help you in the championship.
It mainly depends on how many rounds everyone's going to miss, because I'm pretty sure I miss at least 2, maybe 3, and Wouter I think only misses 1. So that's a big advantage he has. He already has the points on me because he won the first 2 rounds, of course. So yeah, we'll see. I'm not really bothered with it at the moment.
You're just here for fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you very much, Thomas. Nice to speak to you, mate, and congrats on P3.
Thanks, mate.
You're welcome. Moving on to the race winner, which is Nathan JB. He took his first win since the Qatar Grand Prix last season when both Ferraris made contact, I think, at the Bahrain Grand Prix last season, but Qatar, it was a Ferrari 1-2. Nathan JB, mate, you must be ecstatic elevated with that win because you controlled it beautifully against Reservoir as well and saved up a lot of battery towards him as well. You watched your route spin out in front of you, then you made an overtake down in your side in towards Roughfield against Reservoir, and that was the moment that defined your race and controlled it beautifully.
Sorry, what was the question?
Well done,
I'm joking,
yeah.
I'm joking.
Oh.
No, it was a good race. It was fun. Although, like, I imagine it wasn't fun for you guys watching because there wasn't many overtakes, I guess. Yeah, I got the move early on Reservoir because the dirt air was pretty annoying. I just kind of wanted to sort of control the pace, and because all the boards were like missing, it was a bit of a struggle out there to brake. So yeah, I just wanted to have clear air and not run into the back of anyone under braking. Basically, it worked.
How were your nerves spot on the final few laps of the Grand Prix? Because you knew that Reservoir wasn't going to overtake you until the final stage and the final lap. So were you just preparing that for that moment? Were you just saving battery, anticipating Reservoir's attack on the last lap?
No, I mean, I think every lap I was doing the same, just like burning on the straights and then like going on none and some. I was just doing the same thing really every lap. I think he made a mistake on the penultimate lap, like sort of like end of sector 2. So I didn't burn as much going into the final lap, so I had more ERS. But yeah, it was just I was getting a little bit nervous towards the end, but like I think I had like a moment where I almost lost the car, and he was quite close to me going into cops. But yeah, it was good fun. It was close.
And also, as well, did you pay Jasper to close the safety car? I'm only joking. But what was the mood as well? What was the mood going towards that first safety car as well? Because you saw that first safety car and you saw the guys behind like Sweetcon, Peas, Isakush, and Co on the hardcore pod tires, and you knew that was going to benefit you as well. So were you very happy at that stage of the Grand Prix?
Oh yeah, definitely. I knew that their strategy was screwed over completely. Like the mediums wouldn't go to the end. And if they stayed out, they'd lose like so many. So yeah, the safety car really helped. Getting past Reservoir as well before the safety car helped, and your own spinning helped as well.
It did, didn't it? But back in Bahrain, you finished in P5. Obviously, you didn't appear at the Zandvoort Grand Prix. Hopefully, you're alright. I think you had something going on. But well done today for the win around him in Silverstone. Blistering pace as well in qualifying, and one of the few that got themselves inside the 25s. And it's the Monza Grand Prix as well next week on Thursday. And how do you feel?
Don't know, to be honest. I haven't done Monza really, so we'll see. I'll do some practice just before again. To be fair, this track I did probably more practice than anyone. I did a bit yesterday. Yeah, I just needed to learn how to do this track because today would have been a struggle if I didn't, and it paid off. So.
Well, thank you very much, Nathan. Congratulations on the win. Congratulations, Reservoir on P2, and congratulations to Bob Pure on P3. That's your top 3 for the British GP. And we'll see you all the Monza Grand Prix next for Tier 2 and Tier 1. Join Leroy and also Glow Stick back on Tier 2, I think. Well, sorry, Higher Palm on Tier 2 at 8 o'clock. And join me back, and possibly Robert, quite sure where the hell he is, for Tier 1 at 8 o'clock next Thursday. We'll see you all later. Goodbye for now.